At 64, I was one conversation away from giving up on intimacy forever. A doctor told me it's just part of getting old, but he was wrong. Dead wrong. If you're over 60 and you've been told the same thing, that your slowing blood flow, low energy, or quiet bedroom is just age, let me tell you something bold. Age isn't the problem. Poor circulation is. I'm Dr. James. I've been a physician for more than 30 years, specializing in men's and women's health as we age. And after working with thousands of patients across the country, I've discovered something life-changing and surprisingly simple. There are 4 specific vitamins that, when taken correctly, can dramatically improve blood flow, boost energy, and reignite connection, even after 60. Not with pills, not with procedures, but with nutrients your body is silently starving for. Now, this isn't just about feeling younger. This is about staying warm, connected, alive, and deeply present with the people you love. And I'm going to share the exact protocol I give my own patients. The same one that's helped men and women in their 60s, 70s, even 80s regain vitality they thought was gone for good. And just ahead, I'll tell you about the vitamin 1 couple calls their marriage saver. You don't want to miss that. Before we dive in, if you're someone over 60 who cares about staying healthy, connected, and energized, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell. That way you won't miss any of these simple, science-backed tips made just for you. And if this message speaks to you, type 1 in the comments. If it doesn't, type 0, so I know how to serve you better. All right, now let's get into the heart of it. The very first vitamin I want to share with you is often overlooked, but it plays a critical role in clearing your arteries and restoring healthy blood flow. Without it, calcium starts to build up in places it shouldn't, hardening your blood vessels and silently choking off circulation. This vitamin doesn't just support your heart, it helps improve sensitivity, warmth, and even physical connection in ways most people never expect. Let's talk about vitamin K2 and why it may be the missing link in your journey back to real vitality after 60. 1. Vitamin K2. K7, the artery unclogger. If there's one vitamin I wish I had started taking earlier in life, it's vitamin K2. Not K1, the kind you get from leafy greens, but K2, specifically the MK7 form. I take it every single morning with my breakfast, and I recommend it to nearly every patient I see over 60 because the science is just too compelling to ignore. What makes K2 so powerful is its role in guiding calcium. You see, as we age, calcium has a nasty habit of ending up in the wrong places. Not just in bones, where it belongs, but in soft tissues and arteries. That buildup is slow and silent. You don't feel it happening, but over time it makes your blood vessels stiff, your circulation sluggish, and your body colder, in every sense of the word. K2 acts like a traffic cop for calcium. It directs it out of your arteries and into your bones. When calcium is removed from your blood vessels, they begin to relax and regain flexibility. And that's when people start noticing things. Warmer hands and feet, better energy after meals, and yes, improved responsiveness and intimacy. One man I worked with, 67 years old, told me, "Doc, it's like someone turned the lights back on." His blood pressure dropped slightly, his skin tone improved, and he even noticed a renewed sense of touch. That didn't come from a pharmaceutical, it came from a simple daily dose of K2. I take 200 micrograms of K2 every day, usually with a meal that has a bit of healthy fat to help absorption. And if you're already taking vitamin D3, K2 is even more important because it works in tandem with D3 to make sure calcium is going where it should and not where it can cause harm. For anyone in their 60s, 70s, or beyond, vitamin K2 is more than a supplement. It's a quiet protector of everything that makes circulation and connection possible. And the best part? Most people start feeling a difference in just a few weeks. But K2 is only the beginning. The next vitamin I take daily plays a very different role, not in moving calcium, but in lifting energy, mood, and even desire. It's one that most older adults are shockingly deficient in. and correcting that deficiency can change everything. Let's talk about it. If you're still here and these insights are resonating with you, drop a number 1 in the comments to let me know you're with me on this journey. Now let's keep going and dive into the second vitamin that can truly change how you feel after 60. 2. Vitamin D3, the hormonal key. If there's one vitamin that quietly holds the key to energy, mood, and intimacy after 60, it's vitamin D3. I've taken it every morning for the past 15 years, long before it became the popular supplement it is today, and I can tell you from both personal experience and professional practice, it makes a profound difference. When people think of vitamin D, they usually think of bones. But in reality, this vitamin acts more like a hormone than a simple nutrient. It influences over 1,000 functions in the body, including immune strength, brain clarity, blood pressure, and perhaps most surprisingly, sexual health. What really opened my eyes years ago was when I started testing vitamin D levels in my patients. Over and over again, I saw the same pattern. The people who felt most drained, cold, foggy, and disconnected also had shockingly low D3 levels. Some were in the teens when optimal levels should be 50 or higher. Once we corrected that with a daily supplement, their color returned. Their voices got stronger, they smiled more, and in several cases, relationships that had grown distant began to feel warm again. One patient, a 74-year-old woman named Elaine, told me, "I thought I was just fading out with age, but now I wake up before my alarm, I laugh more, I touch more." Her words stuck with me. I take around 4,000 IU of D3 daily, usually with breakfast. I always pair it with healthy fats, sometimes eggs or avocado, to help absorption. And I always make sure it's D3, not D2. That little detail matters, especially for older adults whose bodies process nutrients differently. Vitamin D3 also plays a key role in testosterone and estrogen production. When those hormones are in balance, everything from circulation to desire improves. That's why I never skip it. Rain or shine, summer or winter, it's part of my daily routine, and I encourage every one of my patients over 60 to have their levels checked and supplement if needed. Now, as important as vitamin D3 is for building energy and emotional closeness, the next vitamin I take each day goes even further. It doesn't just support blood flow, it opens the floodgates. And believe it or not, it works on the same mechanism as some of the most famous blue pills in the world. Let's take a closer look. 3. Vitamin B3, niacin, the blood vessel relaxer. This one might surprise you. It certainly surprised me when I first started recommending it to my patients, and even more so when I began taking it myself. Vitamin B3, also known as niacin, has become a daily part of my routine, and to this day it's one of the most immediate and powerful nutrients I use to support healthy circulation. What makes niacin so special is its ability to help blood vessels relax and expand. It boosts something called nitric oxide, the same compound that medications for erectile dysfunction are based on. But here's the difference. Niacin works with your body, naturally encouraging better blood flow without the side effects or risks that come with prescriptions. I still remember the first time I took a proper dose of niacin. Within minutes, I felt a warm flush sweep across my skin, a harmless but noticeable sign that my blood vessels were opening. It was like turning the dimmer switch up on my whole body. I felt more alert, more present. That experience is what convinced me to start recommending it to patients who were struggling with cold hands and feet, poor stamina, or a general sense of numbness in their lives. One man I treated, a 70-year-old retired engineer, told me that after 3 weeks on niacin, he could finally feel warmth in his legs again. He started walking more, sleeping better, and in his words, finally felt connected to my body again. I personally take 500 milligrams of flush niacin, not the no-flush version, with food. That initial warming sensation might seem intense at first, but once you understand what's happening, you realize it's a sign that circulation is improving. It's like opening up back roads that had been shut down for years. Now, niacin isn't just about physical performance. Many of my patients report improved mood, mental clarity, and even emotional openness. When blood flows freely, the brain lights up, and that affects how we connect, not just in the bedroom, but in everyday life. But as much as niacin helps with opening blood vessels, there's one more vitamin I take each day that works on the walls themselves, strengthening them, smoothing them, and protecting them from the damage that comes with age. It's one of the most underrated tools we have for intimacy and vitality after 60, and hardly anyone talks about it. Let me show you what it is. If you're still watching and finding these insights valuable, go ahead and comment the number 1 below. I'd love to know you're still with me. Now let's keep going and take a closer look at the 4th and final vitamin I take every day. 4. Vitamin E, mixed tocopherols, the anti-stiffness vitamin. This last one might not sound as exciting at first, but for me, it's become a quiet essential. I take vitamin E every single day without fail. Not the synthetic kind you'll find in cheap drugstore bottles, but a natural blend of mixed tocopherols, the form that truly supports circulation, tissue health, and intimacy as we age. What most people don't realize is that vitamin E works deep inside the blood vessels. As we get older, our arteries lose their flexibility. They become stiff, less responsive. That's not just a cardiovascular issue. It affects how blood moves throughout the entire body, including those more personal, sensitive areas. Vitamin E helps prevent that stiffness by protecting the inner lining of your vessels, the endothelium, from oxidative stress and inflammation. I started taking it after reading a study linking vitamin E to improved microvascular function in older adults. But what really convinced me were the stories from my own patients. One woman in her late 60s came in complaining of persistent numbness in her hands and feet, and also a general feeling of disconnection from her partner. We adjusted her supplement routine to include a high-quality vitamin E blend, and within a month she told me something I'll never forget. I feel color coming back into my life. That stuck with me. We're not just talking about circulation in the physical sense, we're talking about emotional warmth, presence, and the ability to engage with life on a deeper level. That's what healthy blood flow allows, and vitamin E, taken consistently, helps preserve that. Personally, I take 400 IU of natural vitamin E with lunch, always alongside other fat-soluble nutrients like D3 and K2. I find the combination works beautifully together, like a team, each one supporting the other in subtle but important ways. Now, as powerful as these 4 vitamins are, they only work if you actually take action. You don't need to change everything overnight, but you do need to start. And that brings us to the part most people overlook, the part that separates wishful thinking from real change. So what exactly should you do today to feel better, move better, and reconnect with the parts of life that matter most? Let me walk you through it, step by step. What you need to do, starting today. By now, you might be wondering, okay, this all sounds promising, but where do I begin? And I get that. When you've spent years dealing with fatigue, cold hands, slow mornings, and growing distance from the person next to you, taking the first step can feel overwhelming. But trust me, it's not about changing your entire life overnight. It's about making one simple, intentional choice and repeating it day by day. Here's what I tell my own patients and what I practice myself. Start with what your body is missing. You don't need to chase complicated treatments or fall into expensive trends. Instead, give your body the core nutrients it's been silently asking for, the ones that power blood flow, warmth, touch, connection. Begin with these 4. Vitamin K2 to keep your arteries clear and flexible. Vitamin D3 to restore your energy, your mood, your drive. Niacin to open your vessels and wake up parts of you that have gone quiet. And vitamin E to keep your circulation smooth and steady so your body can respond the way it used to, maybe even better. If you're unsure where to start, pick one. Make it part of your breakfast. Give it a few days, then add another. You don't need to feel it all at once, though many people do. What matters most is consistency. That's where the change happens. And it's not just in how you move or sleep or perform, it's in how you show up in your life, in your relationships, in the mirror. You've spent years giving to others. Now it's your turn to restore yourself. These vitamins are more than capsules. They're tools to help you reconnect with everything that still lives inside you. And as we move into the final part of this journey, I want to leave you with something even more powerful than a supplement. A message I've shared with every patient who's ever walked through my door. It's something I believe can change the way you think about aging forever. Let's talk about that now. A new chapter, not the end. If there's one thing I've learned after more than 30 years as a physician, it's this. Aging is not the end of vitality. It's just a shift in how we access it. I've seen people in their 60s and 70s rediscover joy, intimacy, energy, and purpose, not through miracles or machines, but through small, consistent changes. And often it starts with restoring what time and stress have slowly taken away. Circulation, clarity, connection. We've talked about 4 essential vitamins, not exotic supplements, not fads, just nutrients your body once made plenty of, but now needs help to replenish. Vitamin K2 to guide calcium out of your arteries and back into your bones, where it belongs. Vitamin D3 to lift your mood, balance your hormones, and bring light back into your mornings. Niacin to open up your blood vessels and restore warmth, flow, and physical responsiveness. And vitamin E to protect the delicate lining of your vessels, keeping everything moving smoothly so your body can feel again. These are the same nutrients I take every day. Not because I'm trying to turn back the clock, but because I want to be fully present in the time I have. I want to keep walking with my wife, hold my grandkids with strength in my arms, and enjoy the quiet closeness that comes at the end of the day. The kind that doesn't need words, just a hand to hold and a heart that's open. I've seen these vitamins restore blood flow, but more importantly, I've seen them restore confidence. And once confidence returns, in your body, in your energy, in your relationships, everything changes. The way you carry yourself, the way you laugh, the way you reach for your partner without hesitation. That kind of change doesn't need to be loud, it just needs to be real. Maybe no one ever told you how much these simple deficiencies could affect the way you feel. Maybe no one ever said that poor circulation is not just about cold feet, but about the cold that creeps into the spaces between you and the people you love. I'm here to tell you, it doesn't have to stay that way. You're not broken. You're not past your prime. You're simply running low on what your body used to make with ease. And now you have the knowledge and the choice to begin rebuilding. Start small. Be consistent. Give it a few weeks. Don't expect fireworks overnight, but pay attention. Notice how your energy shifts, how your skin feels warmer, how your thoughts become a little clearer. And if you're in a relationship, notice the quiet ways connection returns. A longer hug, a glance that lingers, a conversation that doesn't trail off but leans in. Aging isn't about giving up what makes life meaningful. It's about learning how to nurture it differently. These 4 vitamins are part of that process. They don't replace you. They support you. They help the best parts of you rise back to the surface. So here's my final thought. Don't wait. You've waited long enough. Your body is ready to respond. Your heart is ready to open. And this next chapter, it might just be the most connected, most alive, and most deeply satisfying season of your life. The question is, are you ready to step into it? Because everything you need starts now. If this message spoke to you, even just a little, I'd love to hear from you. Go ahead and like this video if you found it helpful, share it with someone you care about who might need it too, and leave a comment below to tell me which of these vitamins you're thinking about starting. Your story might inspire someone else to take that first step.